Hello, what's up, guys? Here we are for the drive, episode number 5, the monster that we created. We're going to wait about 2 minutes to have some people come in. Make sure you like, share, and comment on this episode. Bill just joined. Hey, Bill, how you doing? We're here together. There we go. We're getting some more people in. Just waiting for some extra people. Let's see if I could invite some people. Hello.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I gotta shut my volume off.
Alrighty. So we're going to give it another 2 minutes before we start the show. It's episode number 5, The Monster We Created, with special guest Julie Lopes. Got a bunch of people joining in right now. Kelson, what's going on? Make sure you like, comment, and share. It's going to be a great episode. Let's get this started. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Nick. If you guys don't know who I am, I've been in the car business for about 4 years. I've worked for different brands, including Honda, Mercedes, Nissan, and I'm actually back at Honda right now, working for them. Marcus, what's going on? How you doing? So yeah, I'm working on Honda right now. Julie, I'm going to introduce her a little bit. She's an automotive professional. She's been in the business for about 4 years as well, about similar time that I've been in it. And currently she's in the Business Development Center. Now, I know you've been in other roles of the dealership.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about what other things you've done in the automotive industry.
I started at Subaru first. That's where I became a financial assistant, essentially also a biller and receptionist. That led me into working as an express advisor as well through Subaru. And then I made the jump to Honda as my first taste of BDC. And then I'm now working for Nissan as a
Awesome.
BDC representative.
So tell us, BDC, but I know a lot of people here don't maybe not know what a BDC representative is. It's the Business Development Center representative. So what does a BDC rep do for the dealership? How does that work?
We are the first contact. We are when you submit an inquiry through the internet, call up on the phone because you see a car you like. We are the person you're going to get on the other line to help answer all your questions.
Awesome. So you're the first contact. Of course, you put a pretty face like that. That's the best first contact you could have with somebody. So basically what their job is that they look for the car that you're specifically looking for. They try to get the target price range that you're trying to get. If you could even send in credit scores early ahead of time before you even come to the dealership, and that's what they do. They handle that, and then they hand that off to a salesman like me, and then we will then officially do the paperwork and the whole process. But this episode is going to be talking about how there's a monster lurking within our business, not only the automotive business, but with every other sales businesses, just business in general. The number one word is customer service. Are we being a service or are we being a servant? So there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about today. Let me just say hi to a couple more people. Adriana, what's going on? How you doing? We have Chris here. How you doing, Chris? Both Chris's. There's a couple of Chris's here. Andrea, how you doing? What's going on? Alrighty, so let's start it off. The monster that we created is who?
I believe it's the customer. In more cases than not, it seems that the customer has this bell that hangs over us where it's about the review. It's about the survey at the end. You can't give them the answer no, or maybe an answer they don't want to hear because
they get upset.
They flip out.
Yeah. And I totally understand. Whenever I'm selling a car and if I have a customer that I've been working with and things get difficult, sometimes customers can be difficult. Situations that they're in could be difficult. It could be credit score. It could be, the car that they're looking at might be just too much for them to afford. But if if you take it away from them, or even if you're giving the best service, you'll have customers that'll hold that survey against you. Now, this survey is called the CSI, the Customer Satisfaction Index. And what that does is it rates the dealership and the salespeople and everybody that works for it as a whole, pretty much. And it can affect your pay greatly. And customers are starting to understand that it does affect your pay and that they do hold this against you if they don't get certain things for the deals. Tell us a little bit about, in the BDC, how a customer can be difficult even over the internet and not even in face-to-face.
It's the same as how you have, for lack of a better term, I'm just going to say it, a set of balls over the phone or through internet, through email, but face-to-face, you wouldn't communicate with me nearly as bad as you are. I have customers that call because they submitted an inquiry, I do my follow-up, and then they say they see it on, here's a recent example. I had a woman inquire about a vehicle that she saw on Car Gurus. And through Car Gurus, who she thinks is a guru, says it was overpriced and that we should lower it for her by a couple thousand. Ma'am, you haven't even seen the car.
Yeah, she has to come in.
You have to come in. You have to see it. You gotta, maybe there's something on this vehicle, new tires. Maybe they have an additional package that Car Gurus can't make note of. With that, she starts screaming at me hysterically because I won't give her thousands of dollars off a vehicle over the phone. Ma'am, and then immediately it's, I want to speak to a manager. I want to speak to who's above you.
Right.
Because I said no. Because I'm not going to bring you in on some unrealistic expectation.
Right, but that expectation now, there's just been a huge issue with the car business that, and I'm sure with a lot of businesses, with the internet that's exploded so much and everything is over the internet nowadays, I think that when customers see internet pricing, whether it's for a new car, used car, whatever you want to call it, whenever they see internet pricing has to be the most aggressive discounting possible because there's a million stores with the same car. And customers are using that internet pricing as the new manufactured suggested retail price. So MSRP is what, I want to sell the car for, but then they come in with this internet price and then they want to start negotiating from the internet price all the way down. So there's no room for, the profit margins are really being cut short from all the dealers because of the internet. And unfortunately, that's just the way it has to go because the internet's here and it's not going anywhere. It's really difficult like Tesla, what they do is they set a price and that's what it is and it is what it is. You can't really negotiate Teslas. With all the other manufacturers, they could come in the store with the internet price and sometimes they do get a better deal than that internet price. But that's what she does and what she specializes in is sending out those internet prices and having the first contact with the customer. So let's get into, before we get into anything else, I wanna have you guys keep commenting, like the video, share it, make sure everybody gets to see this.
Ask me questions.
Ask questions for both of us. We really need questions. I know my buddy Marty will be on soon. He's gonna be asking a lot of questions. Dylan Murphy is on. What's going on? So let's get a little bit more into it. Let's see. All right. So let's talk about our original sin, or as some people like to call it. When the car business was first starting, a lot of people would get ripped off because they didn't know what the prices were. And now with the internet days, people still go into dealerships and have this wall because they think salesmen are slimy and they're just trying to rip them off. And what we have to do is break down that wall and try to have them see that today is not the same as it was back then.
No.
Shed a little light on that.
We're going into that. That's anywhere. You can walk into any big named retail store and think that they're going to take advantage of you. It may not be that salesperson, but it's the brand itself. what value is a $5 t-shirt versus a Gucci white t-shirt? It's still a white t-shirt. One is ripping you off, one's not. But that goes into, you know, immediately when someone calls, we're combating that. We're trying to bring you in with the value. We're trying to bring you in with the niceness, pretty much trying to give you whatever it is that you want. But even that is not enough. And with that, you know, it just kind of leads into people not being able to hear the real answer sometimes.
Whether it's the right answer or the wrong answer, it affects everybody. It affects the customer. It affects us with our pay. And if, again, it affects the customer because they're not taking the car home. If I don't sell a car, I'm not doing my job, and I'm not getting any money, you know, by not selling a car. And she's not either. We're not here to work for free. Our time is really valuable in sales. And if we don't get everything together and piece the puzzles, it doesn't work out that way. Dylan Murphy says, I can't watch anymore. The chain is too shiny. There we go. We got the gold chain on that everybody seems to like. She's got her little diamond necklace that she's got on, so she had to try to one up. Let's see who else is here.
Kind of back on topic.
Yeah.
The main thing that we really want to touch on is how business and retail, because ultimately automotive is a form of retail, how that has to, because of the value we place on our customers, and without them there wouldn't be any type of retail, where maybe the industries have to change, because you can't have a commission-based salesperson if honestly the commissions don't exist anymore because of the undercutting and the fact that we have to go for the lowest price. And although we may create value, it's really down to the price for most people, unless there's some type of brand loyalty, you know?
Yeah, I mean, she gets into a good point, is can you really show a customer that much value that they'll say, look, I'm willing to pay you more. I'm willing to pay you, Nick, more than the other dealer. Same car, same everything, but because you showed me the value more, I'm willing to pay more. I think really it comes down to yes and no. You have certain customers that might do it, but a lot of this shopping online.
I feel like in higher brands, you get the level brands, like Mercedes, BMW, you know,
those are high line.
That's where I expect to be greeted with sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
If I'm walking into a Nissan dealership, yes, I expect to be appreciated and valued as a customer and being shown the value of why I should purchase a vehicle there. But ultimately, I think this economy and most people, if the same two dealerships offer a year's free oil changes, I'm gonna go down to the one where I can get at least for $99 versus $110. Because
whatever saves the money. Customers are customers, and everybody has the right to be that way. Again, it just goes to where yeah, you can show as much value as you can, but at the end of the day, everybody's online on their phones, shopping for prices, sending leads everywhere, trying to get the best deal.
Right in front of you.
Right, even in front of you. So that goes to where should we do internet where it's all volume and the dealers just stick to volume, or do they, you know, I have no idea how that works.
No, because all it does is it just rebrands the monster, which again, it's, you know, brands set up this great thing, this CSI, this customer satisfaction index, which is great because it makes sure that, you know, we're doing our jobs. But a lot of the time our pay is hinged on it, our job is hinged on it, and quite frankly, it doesn't take into account the customer. You know, when I have someone screaming and cursing at me on the other end of the line, what do you think I'm gonna do?
Hang up.
Hang up.
Hang up.
You know, or I'm gonna tell you no. I do not coddle customers. I do not baby customers. Believe me, I want to help you because my job and my pay is based on that.
Relies on it. Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't take the service abuse. And I was told by a manager at one point that that's part of my job. You have to take it. I had a 6-foot tall man stand over me and point his finger down at my face. No, can't say I'm willing to take that.
Some people are willing to take it. Some people aren't willing to take it. Marty is in the building. Finally, Marty, I need you to ask me some good questions. Both of us. Let's get to it. That's your number one job here. All right. Sandra says, I need a new car. That's great. I'm not going to help you out. Just kidding. We will help you out. Adriana had a good question. Let me see. I think she said, should I trust a salesman?
Yeah. Ultimately, yeah. You have to go with your gut. If you love this car, you're going in for a Honda Accord, and you get the sales guy that doesn't have a smile on his face, you have every right as a customer to find a manager and say, listen, I'm really not happy working with this salesman. Can I please work with somebody else? You have every opportunity to do that at any point in the sale.
And vice versa. If I am not getting a good connection selling her a car, I just can't seem to relate on any topic, and we're not on the same level, I'll pass it over to one of the other sales guys. Listen, we're just not clicking. So if you want to take the deal, it's up to you. And I'll happily pass it over and, have one of the other guys sell the car. But should you trust the salesman? I say to an extent. My reasoning is because, of course, we're in it to make money. The more we sell the car, the more money there's involved, X, Y, Z. But if you do your homework with the internet, okay, with everything that she does, you will find a good deal, okay? Push the dealer a little bit here and there, you'll get a couple extra things out of them. But if you do your homework, if you go on the internet, if you call a business development center representative like her, you will get a good deal. You will not get screwed out of it. So yes, if you're coming in on that basis, I think you should trust the salesman to an extent. Again, make sure you do your homework.
But on the same token, you have to be nice. If you come at me screaming, yelling, thinking you're the tough guy, I'm not going to give you the let me help you in every which way possible, because I don't want to be on the phone with you. I don't want to help you if you're going to be mean. I'd rather help the next customer who's really nice, who, you know what, maybe their niceness pays off in the long run. And that goes with anything. If some things are out of my control, pricing of a vehicle, I can only push so much. What your trade is worth, it's only worth so much. But if you come at me nice and you use your basic please, thank you, hello, something most people forget, and you do that from the time that I pick up the phone to when you come in the dealership, I guarantee you will walk out with a better deal. We'll all be happier. And you won't have a reason to complain or come back.
And when you do come back, you have a great relationship with people that you already established that relationship. So now it's just a lot easier.
And we'll try even harder to make sure you keep coming back, because you were one of the customers that was nice.
Right.
We cheer in the background when we get a nice customer. We can breathe a sigh of relief. We can talk to you like normal. It's the people that come in swinging. Even, part of my job is also I'm part receptionist, I guess, and I field a lot of the calls that come in. And I have customers where, yeah, you know what, something got messed up. The payoff didn't go through right away. Your tags and title took a little longer. All of a sudden your headlight went out. I'm going to help you, because honestly, I don't want you to call again because you're taking up my phone time. 2, why not? Because I want you to keep coming back, because you enable us to keep working.
Right. Exactly.
But again, if you call up screaming and hanging a survey over my head,
trust me, you don't
I'm not going to help you.
You don't want to come screaming at her.
No, because I'm going to hang up the phone.
That's a nightmare.
I don't take it.
Let's read a couple comments. Adriana says, that's crazy. No one should take any abuse. Well, listen, in the car business, and I'm sure in every other business, there's going to be abuse, whether it's from managers or other people. You just got to deal with it. Martin says, the salespeople are always the bad guys. Yeah.
We're the scapegoats.
We are the scum of the earth compared to everybody. Let's see. Let me scroll down a little bit. I know we got a lot of comments coming in. Lori says, "Are credit criminals easier to please because they are desperate?"
No.
So wait, explain what a credit criminal is. So
Credit criminal is someone that has a bankruptcy or two, has a couple repos, voluntary or not. They have really, really bad credit, and it's just because they don't want to pay. But they expect to come in and be able to get a car like anybody else. And
they're okay with paying $1,000 a month because they're not going to pay it.
Because they're not, yeah, that's really what it comes down to. More often than not, though, you find that they don't understand credit and that it's the banks that are the ones that are kind of saying, no, we can't do this. And they flip out on us when really, had you paid your bills, and listen, we're sympathetic to when, you know, you have a rough patch. We feel it. We've all gone through it one way or another, but it's, again, how you approach us.
Bill says the salesman or woman is there to help you with the sale. It's up to the sales managers to set the price of the car and what incentives you get. So be nice to the salespeople. Again, yeah. I mean, you want more discount? Be nicer.
We work to help you make sure, one, the car is right for you, that you can afford the payment. We don't want you to come screaming in a couple months because you can't afford the payment. We'd rather put you in a vehicle that you can afford, that you are going to be happy with. That doesn't mean have caviar dreams and think, you know, we're going to put you in a platinum Armada when you can afford a Sentra S. Be realistic when you come in, because that also creates a strain on the relationship between sales and customer. When you come in unrealistic, you want $10,000 for your trade and it's worth $500 because the transmission's gone, you think we don't know.
Right.
Or because Car Guru says it's worth more.
Guys, please comment, ask more questions. Marty, I know you have some good ones lined up.
Oh, broken
I need
down.
you to unleash your craziness. Marty says, in the business, we call these people broken downs. All right, cool. Another comment. I don't get how a credit criminal can even get a car. Well, they can.
They can.
They
50% down.
They can. Well, even not 50% down. There's a lot of ways to get people approved for things, whether it's ethical or not ethical by the salespeople and the dealership. So we can get you approved.
Co-signer.
There just might be a cost to it. Let's see. Marty says, LOL, caviar dreams. He liked that comment. Probably have their whole family co-sign. Yeah, you're right. You can have your family co-sign. Most of these broken downs come in and they'll have their whole family co-sign. And even with their whole family co-sign, they still don't have a 600 credit score.
Sure.
Come on, guys. Keep on asking questions. We'd love to give you our answers. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, so talking about hard customers and tough customers, how do you handle a tough customer?
Okay.
And try to edge them out.
So I try to take the edge off first, because again, I can't hear you if you're screaming or crying. It's the same as if you call 911. They can't understand you. And realize I am just there to answer the phone and try to get you the help that you need, or get you to the person that can. I am not a finance manager. I'm not a sales manager. I do not work in tags and title. Most of the time, the people that pick up the phones don't. So if you can explain to me exactly what's wrong in a calm and friendly tone, even though I know you're aggravated, and listen, I will listen to you vent all day. But if you don't do it in a way that's respectful, you can't expect us to want to exactly help you. Ultimately, we do, because we want to get you off the phone. It comes down to wanting to fix the problem before it gets any bigger and before it gets anyone else involved. What can we do to help you? Ultimately, make sure when you call to complain, what is it that you want to accomplish? Are you just calling to complain? Because if so, I'm going to hang up on you. If you're calling because you generally need help, I will help you. I will take the extra 5 minutes to help you, because I know that in the future, you'll listen to that and come back. Or you'll say, all right, you know what, there was that little hiccup with the payoff, but we got it squared away and this was great. It's taking the time. But again, Not all customers like that. And I can tell them, I've told customers before, sir, ma'am, if you're going to speak to me in that tone, I'm going to be unable to speak to you and help you. So please, the way this has to work is you have to be nice. And some people are shocked that I say that, but that's the reality. Maybe some customers need the reality check, because maybe next time they'll think before the next time they call another business, maybe I shouldn't be mean to this person because they're really not going to help me.
Yeah. Marty has a good question. Well, before that, Adriana says, Julie is looking good with the thumbs up. I agree. I'm looking good too. Look. Anyway, Marty says, no names, but what was objectively the worst customer you had ever worked with? So I'll go into one of my stories. I mean, I had this probably a couple weeks ago. I had a customer come in. It was for another salesperson. That salesperson was busy doing a delivery for a car that he was already selling. So he said if I could help him out, and I was going to help him out. So I was helping these people out. They were looking for a Civic Si, and they, right off the bat, you could feel the energy. I mean, it was just a negative and a push. And I was just trying to, I'm just trying to help find what car they want, try to target the monthly payment and all that stuff. So I went to go get the numbers from the managers, and I went back to my friend, and I told him, listen, I'm just not clicking with these people. There's, one of the people were being rude. It was a group of 3 people, 2 of which were not buying a car. There was that one lady.
Do not bring all your friends to buy a car.
It was that one lady who was buying a car. So I said, listen, I need you to be aggressive. I need you to come on this, because I don't want to be disrespectful, etc. So I brought him in. He comes into the table, presents the numbers. They said, oh, this is too expensive. She's not paying for this. She's like, yeah. He gave $3,000 discount right off the bat. Well, it's a great deal. I know. Oh my God. So he said, there's a $3,000 discount. And the lady's like, oh no, she's not paying for this. He says, oh. He said, oh, wait, who's buying the car? And she says, well, not me, it's my friend, her. She points at the other. He's like, okay, thank you. Next. And he was talking to the lady like, this is your car. I'm not talking to your friend or anybody. So there's a bunch of stories that we could go along with the worst customers and stuff like that. I mean, maybe you want to shed light on one of your stories.
Probably the most recent that I could say, besides the car gurus lady, was a gentleman from out of state. He was inquiring on a vehicle. He wanted, this vehicle was $56,900. Okay, that's the sales price, internet sales price. He wanted to be out the door, which means all taxes, tax, titles, fees, everything, 53 out the door. Sir, no. And I told him no, and I said it very nicely as, I'm sorry, but the sale price is going to be firm at $56,900. We cannot do 53. Just doesn't, the math isn't there. I demand to speak to a manager. Okay, he's going to tell you the same thing I am. Passed him on to the manager, said the same thing. Called back a week later, started the same thing. This time he was really nasty to me on the phone. Now I'm really not going to help you. Now, no, I'm not going to pass you to the manager. No, I'm not going to let anyone else deal with you. The final answer is no. Proceeded to kick and scream, as I imagine, on the other end of the phone. Good for you, sir. Began to curse at me. Guess what? I'm sorry, I'm not helping you. Hung up. Why am I going to help you at an unrealistic price? Because you couldn't hear the answer. No. It's unrealistic. I think it was a Cadillac Escalade. XLT. Whatever. You're not getting it 53 out the door. We need to collect taxes while you're out of state. We need your tags and title. Yes, we have a dealer fee. Because guess what? There's work that gets put into this. If you want to get wholesale cars, go be a wholesaler. If you want that pricing. Other than that, guess what? And that brings us into, it devalues the brand. You don't walk into, at least I've never done it. Maybe someone has. I don't walk into Target and go, this shirt, I think it's only worth $5. Meanwhile, the price tag says $10.99. I don't walk up to the register, the clerk, and say, hey, I want this for $5. You know what they're going to tell me?
Good. Do you have a coupon?
Yeah, put it down. How would you like to pay? The price doesn't change. It devalues what it is you're exactly looking for. If I can't afford the $10.99 shirt, I should go look for one that's $5. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of brands in our industry, in any retail, it begins to suffer.
Absolutely. I need some more questions for us, please. We're actively answering them. Marty, I know you have another good one coming up, but I know you do. Let's get into some more stuff. Eduardo says, hola. Hola, Eduardo. How is your finance manager life going? He is now an official manager, finance manager for a Honda store. Congratulations, buddy. You deserve everything. You deserve it. Let's talk about, let's see. Let me check my notes here.
Do you think that the car business should revert to more retail type of environment where every dealer has one deal for every car and the one real difference is priced based on credit, interest, and the only real difference is price is based on credit and interest rates when financing or leasing? Yeah. But then, here's the kicker for that.
Let's read the question over again.
Oh, please let me read it.
You weren't clear.
No, I was not. Sorry.
So Marty says, do you think that the car business should revert to a more retail type of environment where every dealer has a one deal for every car? And, well, let's answer that. So should we revert to a retail type of business like a Macy's or something like that?
Honestly, that's where it's going anyway. Because eventually the brands have to stop. One, they undercut each other. And then you have brands, you have several, like just take Nissan. You have a Nissan dealership a half hour away that we compete with, 20 minutes away that we compete with, 15 minutes away that we compete with. So we're just undercutting each other over and over and over again. And then on top of it, you have different brands competing, Toyota versus Nissan or Hyundai, or it's honestly, I think it'd be better if the brand just made it solid. This is the price of the vehicle. The only thing that does change is your interest rate based on the financing or the lease terms.
Right.
Make it really cut and dry. But then here's the thing. You have to completely change the pay structure of everybody that works in sales.
It can't be based off commission. It should be based off of like units. So the more units you sell, the more bonus you get. Instead of the more I make in this car, the more money I make in my pocket, commission-wise.
Which I think that would also maybe destigmatize what salespeople are and that they're bad and scary and they're slime, because there is none of that. This is the price. The only thing that changes it is you, the customer. What is your credit? How long do you want the term to be? Are you going to lease it for 10,000 miles a year or 15? It's just, I think that's almost where it's going. And I hope it goes that way.
Eduardo says customers will never be happy and think that they can do better.
Always.
It's true. They always think that they could do better. Even when they had the deal, they had you grinding for hours, and you're giving the car away pretty much as a gift. They say, well, can you throw in floor mats with that? And I'm gonna be like, do you really want to lose a deal over floor mats, or do you really want to lose a deal? Because we can't afford to give anything more. I mean, if you can't recognize, this is one of my managers told me as when I was learning the business. If the customer can't recognize a good deal, they don't deserve it. Next. That's the truth. If they can't recognize a really good deal, you do not deserve it. Take the next customer. Let's not sell the car. If they're fighting over floor mats or any accessory, whatever you want to call it. Marty says, only new cars, of course. Used cars are a little different because of condition and mileage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. They're like snowflakes.
Yeah. So if used car market is a whole nother process. We're talking mainly for new cars, because every Civic has, every Civic is the same Civic if it's a 2018 LX. So that's all relevant. Sandra says, I understand what you are saying about nasty customers, but unfortunately it is always said that the customers is always right no matter what they do. So let's get into that.
That's the exact phrase that started this, that opened up the Pandora's box, that this customer is always right. No, no, no. The customer most of the time is wrong. We have a saying, it's called buyers are liars, because they will lie through their teeth about what it is they're looking to accomplish. What is their credit score? What car do they actually want? Most of the time, they don't even know. They come in on Nissan Altima and they walk out with a Nissan Murano because they don't know what they want. But that is what we're here, so that we can make sure we get you into the right vehicle. But ultimately, the customer is not always right. You are not a professional in this field. Don't act like one. You can read about, you know, that this is a good price on Car Gurus or Kelley Blue Book, or, you know, what is this car really worth? You want to do my job? I dare you.
Yeah. Again, I think we do this every day, and unfortunately, customers, they think that they know what they could get by reading forums or whatever it might be, and that's what they try to go for. It's always going to be this constant battle between the sales desk and the customer. Always. Martin has another comment, says, only if they know it's negotiable will folks negotiate. That's really, yes, absolutely, you're correct about that. Everyone has it in their mind that you can negotiate cars because it's pretty much common knowledge. When you go to Nordstrom and buy a $60 cotton shirt that was made by some poor factory worker for 20 cents, no one negotiates taxes when checking it out in the store. And that's correct. Marty, do you think that we should go the retail way, like Tesla, and just one price and that's it? Do you honestly think we should do that? Is that going to destroy the car industry? Or is that going to make it better? I don't know. That's a great way to put it. I was just saying before you came on that the new MSRP that people like to negotiate is the internet price. Everybody comes in on the internet price and starts negotiating down from the internet price. That doesn't make any sense if we're giving you the lowest already. But for customers, car business specifically, everything is negotiable. But when you go to Nordstrom and buy that $20 shirt that the 20 cent worker was, making that for, it's not negotiable.
You don't get to the drive-through window at Dunkin' Donuts. You don't say, okay, I want an iced latte. Pull up to the window and go, I can really only afford a small coffee. So no, they want the full price of the iced latte because that's what it's worth. You don't go into any other store, any other retail situation and act or ask for things like people do in the automotive industry.
Yeah. Eduardo says that transferring the car business into the retail section like a Macy's or Nordstrom won't work. And I kind of agree with him. He says that the internet price was supposed to be that one price. That was it, and that's final. But like I said, he says customers are never happy and try to get more and more. But Eduardo, you know why that happens? Because dealerships are letting it happen. When a customer comes in on internet price and they do sell it for more, because they can, sell it for less than the internet price, dealerships allow that to happen because now their friends and everybody know that the internet price is where you start. Let's negotiate from there. So if dealers just stick strong and say, internet price, that's it, move like Tesla, there's no negotiation, you got to do finance and that's it, then you have no issues. Because from the day one, he started as no negotiation. This is the cost of the car. This is what it's going to be to buy.
But that has to be done collectively across everybody from Mercedes down to the lowest,
Toyota,
whatever you might,
whatever
preference. Because honestly, that one, like I think Martin said, it will create trust in the system because then everyone knows what the price is. Because I know at my dealership, we like to say our internet price is the lowest we will go. What you see is what you get. We cut out that negotiation. By me saying that, you think the customer would be happy. Great. You know what? This is the internet price. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And we cut it. We go really low. We're some of the cheapest in the nation. That's still not good enough. That was that lady on Car Gurus. You know, like, where are you trying to go? You want thousands of dollars off. How about you find a van that you can afford rather than ask for one that's thousands off? You don't know the real value of it. And I can try to explain it to you. He can try to show it to you. But if you come in there with $15,000, you want that car out the door at that, it's $20,000. Guess what? Math that doesn't work. It's math.
2 plus 2 doesn't equal 5.
I see it every day. People want to put down no money and they want to be at $100 a month on a brand new Armada. It's like a $50,000 car. Yeah. Unrealistic.
Yeah. Marty says there's no trust in the system. Absolutely. You're correct about that. There's no arguing about that. I mean, nobody trusts anybody. You know, it's, again, I think if you go the retail side, there's still not going to be any trust. It's going to take a long time for it to finally settle in where people are like, okay, internet price, it is what it is, and that's it. Bill says people think that new cars have a lot of markup, but they don't. But they don't, period. Used cars have the most markup, which is true. The money is in the used vehicles. Because the brands themselves, the dealerships, undercut there is no markup by the time you get to the desk. We are losing money. We take what are called brackets because you are losing so much. Negative deals. Eduardo says, why did, okay, hold on one second. What did he say? Why am I saying the pinned comment? Oh, unpinned. Okay. Eduardo says, let me scroll back up 1 second, guys. That's why it won't work, because the dealer wants the business. Customers will go to the one dealership that will negotiate.
That's why it has to come from the brand.
That's why
it has to come from the very top of the tree down to the roots, because if it's just dealership by dealership, then it won't ever work. But if it's the brand that comes down and says, listen, guys, this is how this is working, and the whole structure of a dealership changes, then that'll eventually change the whole way a customer views us.
Yeah. Marty says it's technically illegal to buy directly from wholesalers. That's why there's a sales force. All right, that's good to know. Eduardo asks us, why don't customers do that when they buy a house?
Wait, do what?
I guess he's saying, why don't they, well, they do negotiate. Be a little bit more specific in that one.
Yeah. Lost me there.
People don't understand that if a dealer is giving
away a trip or a big screen TV, then they add the price into the car. It's all a scam. For the most
like the lease specials and stuff like that.
That's where that disclaimer comes in at the very bottom.
There's always fine print. I mean, again, that's marketing, but that's not up to us. The dealership does that. They market the car as zero money down, $99 a month.
Because we want to try to get you in.
Because when we get you in, we have to try to add taxes and fees onto that just to make a deal. And if we don't, and you want to go less than what the internet price is, forget it. I mean, you can't.
People want payments that are less than their cell phone bills. A cell phone is not going to save you from when a car crashes into you. No, you can't have a lease payment or a finance payment a month that is less than your cell phone bill.
Okay, so to recap what Eduardo was asking, he says, why don't people have, what does he say, true house price?
True house price.
So a true house price, or what is it, true car price,
true car.
Meaning.
It's like Zillow or Trulia.
But is that really accurate?
It's a zestimate, they call it.
It's an estimate. It's not accurate. So he's right. Why don't people have that for the housing market? I don't know.
But every house is individual.
Right. It's just not. It's like. It's kind of like a used car. I mean.
Which is where like Kelly Blue Book comes in, which is like the Trulia or Zillow. It gives you that estimate of what the vehicle last sold as, what it might be now, based on what the property taxes are, and
that gets all crazy. Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Marty is doing some research. Okay, that's the last of our comments. Keep asking questions. We got a couple more minutes live. Do you have any questions for them?
Do you ever regret when you're mean to people? I know it's frustrating, but it's one of those, I've been frustrated. And I think back to all of the people that have come at me screaming and swinging, and I'm like, wait, I don't want to be that person. And I feel like if most people stopped and think for a minute, wait, I'm going to make an ass out of myself by acting this way. I mean, God forbid any retail, especially automotive, could turn around and write reviews on the customers. You'd never be helped again because of how you acted. Think about the time we were standing at the bank and that lady was flipping out because they were backed up, whatever was going on. You could tell that the tellers were really hard working, and she was flipping out because she was going to be late to go visit her friend in the hospital. Flipping out and yelling at the bank teller, like that is their problem. Why did you have to stop at the bank during lunch hour on a Friday? Common sense.
Well, as Marty would say it, and as other people at a certain Honda dealer would say it, KWK, kill them with kindness. So that's the best you could do for that. There's no answer how to handle a tough customer. If you have a tough cookie, sometimes like you, I have to kill you with kindness and just try to get over the objections. Kelson Audrin says, looking good, guys. You're looking good too, bro. Hopefully your surgery went well and you're on a speedy recovery. If you guys have any other questions or comments, we'd love for you to just keep dropping them in. This is what we're here for. We're going to wrap it up in a couple more minutes. Let's see what else we have here.
Let's talk about how the customer can devalue and add value to the brand.
And how, in what way?
Well, you have a customer. It's based on perception, right? So they can take away value of a vehicle, value of a shirt, because they don't like it. So they think it might not be worth something. Or they're just trying to get it for a deal, right? Or they can add value. It could be the next big thing. Some famous rapper can wear a $5 Target shirt, and suddenly that Target shirt is worth $10.
Walmart.
Okay. I think that affects the business and how we ultimately react to the customer, because we want to add value to whatever brand we're working for, whatever retail giant we're working for, because that adds value to us as well. But it comes down to really what the customer does and what we can do for them in the end. Yes, buyers are liars. Do women have an edge that men don't in the workplace? No.
Yes. Okay. You go first. You go first.
In this business, it's still very male driven. I've been put down by other men salesmen because I come off a certain way. I have a little bit of what would you like to call it? Scary face?
Yeah, she's very business.
I'm very assertive. I feel like you are just as good as me and I'm just as good as you.
She'll run you over.
I will.
She'll run you over.
And run in reverse too, right over you. But it's the same as, even on the phone, I get people that, I say, oh yes, I can help you, I'm in sales. And they go, you're a salesman? No, I can put you on the phone with my manager though, but good luck with that. You're better off talking to me. He could be cute with you and you could be nice to me and we can sell you a car. But treating me any other different, I find it difficult. I'm not taken as seriously yet.
I mean, you could say all that, but then I see women who are in high positions of general managers or sales managers or finance or whatever it might be, and maybe they don't really qualify for it. But why are they there? You did say that this is a...
Well, did they sleep with the other person?
Well, okay, but like I said, do they have the advantage? In a man's world,
where I'm not willing to do certain things that other women are.
Right, but I'm not saying everybody does that, and people work hard to get where they have to be. But I think in sales, on the sales floor, you don't see it as much, but the sales women typically do high amount of numbers of sales compared to some of the guys, because it might be easier to talk to them or whatever it is. But it could be yes and it could be no. Let's see. A lot of people are agreeing and disagreeing on the comments. Martin says absolutely that they do have an edge. He says that women dictate your salary. Okay. How do they dictate our salary? Kelson says that we're all put down by our coworkers, or at least they try to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do get put down.
And then when I stand up to them, they cry to their managers.
Right. you gotta hold your ground. Frankie Lopes is on. What's going on, Frankie?
Hi,
Thanks
Frankie.
for tuning in and watching.
Miss you.
Marty says the first people that customers talk to are the business development coordinators.
Oh, I like that.
Which tend to be the women. If they give you leads and you can't close them, they'll starve you.
True.
Yes, true. So,
but most dealerships that I've worked through have systems
system
that
to
don't
stop
enable.
feeding.
Yeah. Are there ways around it? Sure. But ultimately, it's one of those. Most dealerships also have a way of preventing it from a salesman that keeps getting leads and can't do anything with them. We put them on the bucket list or on the aptly named bad boy list at other dealerships.
The bad boy list. If you can't sell cars, you don't deserve the leads.
You don't deserve the leads. Because also, you don't know how long I've been working them. I've worked customers for 3-4 months to get them in because finally they're ready. And then to hand them off to somebody that is not a good closer, you better believe I'm going to run you over in the parking lot when I spent 4 months.
Let me ask you something. Am I a good closer?
So we decided.
No, it's actually not, because you're sitting here right now. I already closed it. You don't even know. She doesn't even know it. I already closed it. Done.
I didn't sign the buyer's order yet.
Oh, you're in the finance box. It's almost done. She's almost done with the contract. Let's see what a couple of people have to say about that. I know the Facebook's a little delayed. Oh my God.
Stupid.
All right. Let's close. We're going to be closing in. I want to keep this for about an hour. I've read it left an hour. Let's see what we got here.
I do think there needs to be more education on surveys.
Yeah.
And CSI. I know I've been screwed out of several $1,000s because a customer meant to fill it out for another play. This was when I was an express advisor for Subaru, and a customer had come in for express service. They got a survey. They then later on had to go into the main shop where they didn't have as great of an experience. They didn't realize what survey they were filling out, and it happened to be mine, where they did have great service. I got a great review from them. And I lost several $1,000s because of this review. That wasn't even, this survey, not review, that wasn't even meant for me. And it really is simply because they don't know. And I think there needs to be more training in that. Why are you smiling?
We're getting a lot of comments now. Now that we had nothing to talk about, we're getting a lot of comments.
Coffee
is for closers. You're damn right, Marty, and I'm a closer. I'm trying to still close you on getting on the show. So obviously I'm not that good. Marty asked, can you imagine life outside the car business? Can I imagine it?
I don't know what a normal 9 to 5 is.
I dream for life outside the car business, but this is what makes me money. I didn't go to college. She did, but that's a whole nother topic.
A lot of people that have gone to college still wind up in the car business
yeah.
to pay off those loans, or it's a good intermittent. I mean, it does teach you a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It really does. It teaches you about customer service. It teaches you about financial aspects. It teaches you how to do, it teaches you a lot. But I don't God, 9 to 5 and weekends off and holidays off. Whew,
This
that's
is
a
this is what you
dream.
do. You're in the car business to make as much money as you can for. You don't want to stay in it more than more than 10 years, to be honest with you. It's got to be even less than that. But you do it to make your money, and then you start your own business. Most of the people who are in car sales are business mind, like, you know, think about businesses and they want to grow businesses and all that stuff. So you do it until you have enough capital to do what you got to do out of it, and hopefully you never come back.
And another point is, you want to go in business thinking it needs you.
Right.
You are going to change it. You are a driving force. You're going to bring a new face to the brand, whatever it is. The minute you turn around and you realize you need it,
You're done.
that's when it eats you alive.
Yep. And then you talk about burnout, and then just a whole
The
bunch of
less
different.
fuck you give about it,
The more you make,
better you are at it.
Yeah.
I'm proof. The less I care,
The better you
the
get.
more and more successful I am at it.
Marty says, after it's all said and done, can you guys see yourself going in a different direction than cars? If so, what industry? Marty, I've been telling you this from the beginning. Now that there is, yeah, that's next, right? Oh, did I skip Kelson?
You skipped Kelson.
Oh, Kelson, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Him and his little broken hand.
I'm sorry, Marty. I'll get back to you next. Kelson says, do couples do better working a job together and or building a business together?
Say both, but you gotta find the happy balance. I know it's hard. We have crazy schedule where we work days where I'm 9 to 6 and he's 12 to 9 and we don't see each other except before we go to sleep. There was a period where we did work together and it was great. It's knowing where the line has to be drawn, where work is work and home is home, and you know, it's great to work together, and we hope to one day build a business together. As far as what it exactly is,
So the plan is to build a business together. It's not to be in the car industry forever. And yeah, I think if you could do it with somebody that pushes you forward, great. There's a lot of horror stories with that too. So you got to be careful. I mean, yes and no. It can be good and bad.
yeah,
You know?
you gotta be kind of like-minded.
Yeah. Sorry. So let's get back to Marty's. So after it's all said and done, can you guys see yourself going in a different direction than cars? If so, what industry? Okay, so let me get back to that. Yes, I think I've been telling Marty this for a while. I'm really interested in real estate. That's just something I've always been interested in. Not right now, because as Marty knows and we know, there's going to be an economic global meltdown that's going to happen within the next year or so. I can't tell you when, but it's not looking good. So right now we're laying low, just saving as much money as we can and waiting for the whole world to fall apart. And hopefully we could buy everything back and
So we can invest in it to make
invest
it
and, make a lot of money out of that.
better.
Bitcoin, hashtag Bitcoin. Okay, Marty. Again, it says college ruined my 20s. With the debt I have been better off not going. Yeah, I mean, college could be what you make of it. If you're going to be a doctor, absolutely, and you know that's what you want, go ahead. If you don't know, you're fucked. You're going to be in a lot of debt.
Totally. I started out going to university. No idea what I wanted to do. Huge mistake. Realized I don't really do good with college. It's just not my cup of tea. Left, decided to start working. I paid off those loans right away. Then I decided I wanted to be a paralegal all of a sudden. Went to school for that. Paid all that off. Was involved in a car accident. Knocked that out of the park. Realized I don't want to work for an attorney ever in my life again. And now I'm in the car business.
Nobody chooses to be in the car business.
My brother has a bachelor's and from Fairleigh Dickinson University. Do you know what he does? Sells Mercedes.
Probably making a lot more money than
what he has his degree
Any of
in.
his college or any of the college friends' degrees that they have. Okay. Let's see. In the age of information, anyone can teach themselves anything online. Yes, you're absolutely right. Looking at the trends, I don't think there's going to be many stores in the next 15 to 20 years, which is right because everything's online, just like our business. Maybe Amazon will start selling cars now, just directly ship it to your house.
They have that Carvana.
Yeah. It's not, I don't know, did it stick yet? Is it really popular?
I don't know.
Anything about it. Bitcoin baby, Marty says. Nick with the ruthlessness. Yes, I'm ruthless. I didn't always used to be this way, right, Marty? I was a little green pea, didn't know anything about the car business, and it's turned me into the monster. Maybe that's a good way to end it. Are we the monsters? Is the customer the monster? Who's the monster? I think everybody could be a little bit of a monster. And that's going to wrap it up for us, guys. I do want to ask her one last question that I always have to ask everybody. And I hope you're ready to answer it. The question is, Julie Lopes, what is your drive? And we'll wrap it up.
Ultimately, what's driving me is whatever my future is going to hold. So I have aspirations of getting to travel with you, hopefully. I definitely want to have my stake in a business, especially one that I know is going to be successful. But I don't know exactly what that's going to be. I drive myself with the success that I know I can accomplish and I can have.
That's a perfect way to end it. So it's been an hour and 1 minute. This has been episode number 5 of The Drive. And we had a great talk. Guys, thank you. Keep commenting. I'll be answering
I'll be answering as well.
We'll both be answering the questions that you guys have for us in the comment box. Please share this, like it. If you guys are interested in being on The Drive, please inbox me, text me. If you don't have my number, let me know. And we will see you next week for another episode of The Drive. Alrighty, guys. Take care. Have a good one.